Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Soul to Entrepreneur Show. You with me, Lorraine Chai, the host. We're going to be talking about something different today and the concept of traditions, right? Because we all grow in different traditions considering depending on the generation that we're at. So today, I have with me Eng Ho, a very good friend of mine, and the reason why I have him on board is because of his transition. He's also Malaysian, like I am, but his transition from one country to the next, and it's growing out of that old tradition that we are used to. So, welcome, Eng Ho, to my podcast.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Lorraine, thank you very much for having me. I'm very appreciative of this opportunity to be on a podcast with you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, look, let's talk about the whole concept of migration, right? Because, like, for me, I've migrated twice. And for you to migrate, both of us from Malaysia, I'm assuming that both of us have a quite similar upbringing in terms of not only being Malaysian, but also being Chinese in that household too, have migrated into Australia, into a Western culture. How was that transition for you? Because people have transitioned. It doesn't matter whether or not you're Asian or European. People have transitioned out of their family culture. So how was that transition for you?
You're talking about things that happened many, many years ago. So I'm not exactly very young. So let me think. Transitioning was always difficult for most, especially when transitioning from different culture. For me, it's a challenge, but then again, uh, life is a challenge. So you take things one step at a time and you figure things out. So very much
Mm.
like yourself, Lauren, since you've done twice, I've only done once. So you can actually share a lot of things with us as well. I mean, like, what do you think, Lauren?
Well, for me, it's trying to open up, right? Because the regime of being Malaysian and Asian is like you follow things by the book. And coming into Australia, I've learned that there's a lot of creative side of things which we were not taught back in Malaysia. You know, we were taught where you have to follow according to the spelling, the right spelling. You don't question anything. So you don't ask if you're curious about something because it shows that you're being a rebel. But in Australia, it's very creative where they teach you how to express yourself. I think maybe a little bit too much, but there is a balance to learn. But the reason why I ask this question is because there's also a transition with business as well, from the corporate life to being a business owner for yourself. So tell us about your experience in terms of owning your laundromat or laundry
Sure.
business.
Sure. Yeah. Just a little bit background about myself. I came when I was in uni. So the transitioning part is all happened during school days. So it's not too bad. It's actually a very safe place to do that. There's a lot of international students that comes to Australia. For once you start finding life, graduating from uni, trying all sort of work, you tend to gravitate towards uh, a chance. Many of us drop into a business or a work or any lifestyle by chance. We navigate life through, hey, this thing works for us. We choose a path, and the path can be very daunting, but we have to choose a path to get to where we are at the moment. Uh, Looking into business, success is a pivotal thing that actually helps you with transitioning. As you get more and more successful, you tend to not get affected as much, with the cultural background and things like that. So as you can tell, I have not adopted the Aussie accent, and I'm fine with that. You know, I get by. People try to understand me instead. So as long as you speak clearly, you tend to be able to get things through. You have to give value. I think value comes in more or less quite universal. If you're able to think what your clients or your employees or your investor wants, you tend to be able to get things across. And you keep doing that. The more that you can give value to people, the more your customers or your employees or your investors will give back to you. Uh, that transcend the cultural differences, I believe.
But that transition for you, right? Like, did you start with corporate? Did you start with working for somebody else first, or did you like just acquire a business straight away? Like, how was that process for you?
Very much like everybody else, I look for a job. You know, when I finished uni, I came out looking for an engineering job. That's what I major in. It was difficult, being uh, coming from a different background. But maybe that's not it, right? I'm a poor student, so maybe that's the main reason, not because of my cultural background, but that plays a little bit, I suppose. You come out looking for a job, you find that, hey, as you navigate through your job, you find what you're good in.
Mm.
Uh, After a while, for myself, I find that, hey, there's opportunities to grow in my job place. But you know what? Many things depends on someone else's decision. So after a while, I decided to come out on my own, and it's not easy. Coming out on your own, you think that, hey, you're 20 over years old, you own the world, you're indestructible.
But there's
But
so many concepts to it, right? There is the
mm,
family noise that you may possibly hear. Like for me, it was that. There could
yep,
be friends side, like you need to choose your friends for growth. There is the situational base, like you've got colleagues that say, what are you doing in terms of throwing your life away? For me, anyway. So I don't know about for you, but how did you manage? Like, I'm assuming that you had all that noise around you with people saying, what are you doing? Giving up your engineering job to acquiring this business, right?
most definitely. I do get a lot from my family as well. Very
Right. So
much like
how
your
did you,
background. Yeah.
right. So I like for me it was really like it was shutting out all that noise in order to make sound decisions, right? And I believe
Yes.
that's the same thing for yourself. Like for you, for your experience, how did you handle that situation with all the noise of people trying to convince you otherwise? It's like politics, right? Everybody
Mm.
trying to convince you to stay in your zone when you're like, no, you see something beyond there and you see there's a possibility and you took that calculative risks. So how did you manage all that stress that is surrounding you at that time, if you can remember?
Yes, I can. I can very much remember that. I remember first thing I told my parents. I said like, "Hey, I'm leaving this job. I'm going to be uh, on my own. I'm going to into property development. I want to do be a property developer." I say, "You're crazy." Right? My dad said, "You're crazy." Right? Well, you got to stuck onto a job, right? Learn it for 20 years, and then maybe you can come up and own your own business. It's difficult, all right, to ping pong between that and what I learned through so many self-help books and podcasts and things like that on the internet. On another hand, my mom was very supportive, and she was saying that, hey, just do your best, just do whatever you want. Don't worry, we'll support you, even though your dad say otherwise. We'll support you. So, I got conflicting information, but I
Mm.
do look up to someone, another family member, which is my uncle, and he does a lot of business, right? So you reach out to people who's done it before, and you keep giving value. Say like, okay, what can I do to help? Okay, I've done this. I'll keep going and keep shadowing him. I've gone overseas, sell things on his behalf, taking care of his, issues that he have in Australia. I've done everything,
So
and that
basically, he was
opportunity
your
comes.
mentor, though. Yeah, like he was your
Exactly. Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
mentor, and you took that,
Correct.
you reached out and you took the opportunity of being mentored before leading up to actually upgrading your mentor to someone that's even bigger.
Exactly. Yep. In life, I think you need to have a mentor or a coach, because that shortens your mistake,
Mm.
the type of mistake they're gonna make. So of course you do fall because your mentor can't be with you all the time, but you get someone to bounce your thoughts, your ideas, even your failures.
Mm.
And the most important thing is that you can have failures, but you got to bounce back. The failure is not meant to, don't take enough, too big of a failure that you get crippled. Do it uh, so that you can bounce back from it and learn from it.
But it's not
So
just that, it's you having someone to push you forward because sometimes we get so fixated about the failure that we get stuck in that whole emotion. But to have like a mentor or coach to actually pushes us through beyond that emotion towards, where we need to go to goals, isn't it?
You're right, Lorraine. A lot of times, the coach or mentor is there to make you accountable. It's
Mm,
you yourself that have to go and ask. You yourself have to go and push. They're not going to push for you because they're successful. Why do they need to? You go out there and you say, "Here's some value. I want to learn. I want to be like you. What do you do? Hey, I'm busy. I can't do this. No problem. I'll come back again." Right? You
mm,
keep going at it until a point that hey, you get a breakthrough. So you keep going back there, and eventually you find that hey, you find someone in business in life that is able to give you mentorship on other things, or coaching in other things. So you go for that as well. So on my journey to get to where I am, I have a few, and they are great people. Then they are still great people who have very, very high net worth. Maybe one day I'll become like them, and that'll be a great achievement. I'm pretty sure they will love it as well if I can achieve greatness in that terms. And they say, hey, I've contributed to your success,
mm.
and many times we as Asians that we like to say, hey, listen to your elders. Please listen to your elders. That's very important. They do share a lot of things, whether good or bad. Hey, you take them
And you
and you think for
learn from
yourself.
it. Yeah, you learn from it, isn't it? Whether or not it's something that
Exactly.
you follow or whether or not you learn something to go opposite of what they've done in their decision making.
Exactly. Yep. So not everything is for you, but you get the option to dissect it rather than you have your own thoughts and that's the only thing that you need to follow. You need options in life to decide yes or no, good or bad. Um, and if it's bad, learn from it. If it's good,
Mm,
hey, good job, carry on,
mm.
do more of those.
All right, so we're all humans, so we all go through emotions, whether or not it's up and down. Now, have you ever felt like really disheartened and you felt like you're a failure through your business journey?
Yes, but I don't dwell on it. I
Good.
do
So
feel that
So what
yes.
about fear, right? Like fear is normal, but have you yourself ever gone through the concept of fear as in your business growth?
Yes, most definitely. You can't avoid fear. What you can do in face of fear is you have to be brave. I suppose it sounds very cliche, fear, and then you gotta be brave and things like that. Even if I try to be brave, it doesn't stop me from fearing things.
Mm.
I need to tackle it head on. I say I still am fearful of something. But if I don't do this, what's the outcome,
You never
right?
know what's gonna happen unless you do it, isn't it? You don't know
Unless
what
you
you
take the
don't know.
shot.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know till you actually do it.
But you can reduce that by having calculated risks. So you need to see, right? But if I were to do this, what are the chances? If I were to fail, how bad will I fail,
Mm.
right? At some time in your life, you're gonna say, I'm gonna fail so much, right? If I fail this, I'm gonna be in a bad position. But if I don't do this, life's gonna be the same.
But it's like worst case, best case, and most likely scenario, isn't it? It's seeing all
You're
the
spot
three
on, Lorraine.
outcomes.
Yes, that's right, spot on. So you best case, worst case, and most likely, and then you decide. And chances are you're gonna take the most likely scenario.
Absolutely. So with all of us, in the realm of business, right? How did you decide to go into the business there that you're at the moment in terms of your laundry business?
How uh how do I decide to go
Like from an
into this?
engineer to laundry, right? Like
Right,
what gave
okay.
you that thought? How do you know that that was the business for you? Because we're gonna have people out there that are like, okay, I want to start a business, but I have this idea, I had that idea, I've got so many
Yeah,
ideas, but I don't know where to go.
yeah. Uh, two things when I left my job, I know two things that's very important, right? From observation, from my coaching, from everything else. Number one, you need to know how to sell, right? If you can't sell anything, you probably aren't going to go very far in life. You sell in your ideas, you sell in your products, your services, you sell in your relationship, you sell in
Mm.
everything. And that's the most important thing, to able to convince another human beings to to your deals, to your ideas, to your I suppose like your um, concept of life. And number two, right? So selling one thing. Another thing is that you need to make sure that you understand, keep tabs of where you are. So that's financial education. So that's number two, most important. Everything else you can learn along the way, but you got to be very strong in these two. So for how do I get into laundry, right? So it's sequence of events that get there, right? So coming out, you go into a job. Once you left, you're left with nothing. You got to find something to eat. Otherwise, you lose your house, right? So you do. I go ahead and do multi-level marketing. I sell things in the train station. I go for all sort of functions and things like just to sell better. After that, I found opportunity as a real estate agent. I sell houses then. I just keep improving that. I sell a lot of houses. And then I decide to partner with a friend of my uncle's. We sell tools, power tools on the internet. So we go to China to source for power tools and pumps and all these other things. And then fast forward, we always have do not close yourself to the things that you're doing right now, even though you're doing very successfully. Look at other options. So there was an option, right, from a mutual accountant
Mm.
with another company, which is a laundry company. So we told the accountant, hey, we were looking for a job. No, 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 we didn't put it right there. Looking for deals. So he comes back and say, "Hey, why don't you try going to this person? They pay a lot. They pay their dividend well. I'm a shareholder, so we went and have our first meeting. We found that hey, this is a great, fantastic model. Uh, and they say like, hey, we have one to sell because it's not doing very well. It's losing money. And then we say, all right, we'll take this thing out, but we want to make a deal with you. So if this thing fails, we sell it back to you at the same price that we buy it for. But if do well, we'll put some money in for you. So getting investors, getting the right opportunity and trying things out. We wanted to try out for 2 years, but we decided in 9 months, and we say, hey, go for it. And that is where everything starts.
Okay, so like an opportunity came your way and you took that chance. But the thing is, it's not just buying and acquiring a business, right? Like what you just explained was you looked at the pros and cons of the business inside out, and see if there was an opportunity of actually helping that business grow rather than just acquiring a business before you actually seal the deal in terms of acquiring that business.
You most likely have to, right? You don't jump into things because someone else tells you it's great,
Yeah.
right?
Or it doesn't matter if the business is cheap. Like sometimes people are like, oh, it's a cheap business, I'm gonna acquire it. It's trying to understand the business as a whole and see if there's an opportunity for them or you to be able to bring that business into a profitable revenue, isn't it?
I would give you a point, right? So when you are looking for something, opportunity, and you do not know much about it, buying something cheap is the most dangerous thing you can do, right? If you're experienced and you have the knowledge, then you can afford to buy something cheap because you understand, right? This is a good deal. They do
Mm,
have some ups and downs, but it's something that is not an issue. But if you're come with an unknown like what we did in the beginning, um, then you are probably going into something that you may not recover, or you
mm,
may lose whatever investment that you put in. So you're right. So if you're seeing it's cheap, raise a red flag. Why is it cheap?
mm.
Can I handle the cheap initial upfront and
The
then
problems
worry
that
about
come with the
the problem
cheapness.
that comes with it? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so we look at that, and knowing people is very important than knowing what processes they have. because people you tend to not be able to hide if you know someone for a long time. So
Mm,
we get to know the owner of this laundry company for 9 months before we say, hey, let's get on to the next step. Just like dating, right? Before you get married, you got to know the person first before you say, hey, this is a big decision. Should I go for the next step or this is not right for me, right? If
mm.
this is perfect, hey, let's go to the next step. Uh, but then again, in business, just like in life right now, you probably have a prenup.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
because things
Yeah,
don't last that well. Last that often, especially in business. Right? At
absolutely.
some point, someone needs to buy someone out.
Yes, absolutely. I always tell my clients, I'm like, you always have to have an agreement. Doesn't matter if it's with your brother, father, mother, or spouse, you always have to have an agreement or as you said, prenup, right?
Don't do business with family. So I think that's a mantra for me. Do not do business with siblings. Parents are still fine, but siblings or cousins and things like that, it get very messy. You don't want to go
Yeah.
to a family gathering and say like, wow, this
It
person
can be
stole from
messy.
me and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. No, I hear it a lot even with my own family
yeah.
as well. So, I completely get it there. And you have to see them. No matter what, still have to see them. And you said like family gathering, you have no out with that.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So now it's like we're doing this podcast at 6 o'clock in the morning. So what is your and it's like pretty early for a lot of people out there. It's like a lot of people are still in bed. So why like you told me you start working at 5 o'clock. So what is your routine on a daily basis?
You try to get as much time as you can in a day. You don't have to wake up really early, uh, but it's the amount of time that you spend on the important things that you do. Uh, I change my time based on what I have as well. Sometimes it's difficult because you have migrated to the States and you know what's the time difference between home,
Mm-hmm.
family and your parents and all with where you were. So we have business relations all over the place as well. So if we need to, hey, we adjust our time and we attend it, right?
You make it work,
Uh,
isn't it? It's like an
we make it work.
opportunity is there, you make it work.
That's right. That's right. But you need to sleep, of course, because if you don't, then you're not performing 100% as well. So, uh, I would say it's not your the amount of time you sleep, I suppose, is more like managing your energy, managing your focus, right? That is very important. You can have consistency in your life, that and that may be 90% of what you do, right? But when you need to push for the last 10%, you do whatever it takes.
Mm. Absolutely. So people don't know this, or some people may know this, but being in the US, I still do have Australian clients. And there's a 1 day a week where I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to make it work for
Wow.
them to be beneficial as a client. Because for me, it all comes up to the my client at the end of the day. It's not, it's how beneficial they can make use of our time together at that particular time. So that's why I've decided to, sleep early the night before and be awake at 3 o'clock to meet them at an early time, like 4 o'clock or 4:30, 5 o'clock. So for me, it's making it work, right? It doesn't matter if I have a partner or a family. Not that I have a family right now, but it doesn't matter. It's more making it work for the beneficial of my client. Or let's say I have a meeting like with you, 6 o'clock in the morning. For me, it's just making it work because we both of us are busy during the day, but it's finding that time that's suitable for both of us to be able to work together and, be on this episode today.
Yeah, most definitely. Right.
Mm. So with you and travels, right? Because as business owners, we always have we this concept of time, right? Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, I don't have time." We always hear this a lot from our friends and families. But for you, like you were with me last week, was it the week before? The week before, in terms of actually already the week before, isn't it? The week
Yeah,
before,
that's
in
right.
terms of
Mm.
of you taking time out of your business, in terms of attending a business event and attending things. Like, what is your thought process in terms of you making it work to attend something and taking your time out of the business? Because people always say they don't have time.
Well, when you say I don't have time, right, it means that I don't have time for you, right? The person I talk to. So it's all a matter of priorities, right? If I don't have time for someone, it's probably they are probably the least priority of what you need to do or what you plan to achieve for yourself. So if you ever hear I don't have time, means I don't have time for you, right? Because you're the least priority of what I need to do. We take things out from our life to do the things that we need to do, like attend, events in Sydney and opportunity to for yourself speak in the Sydney Opera House, right? That's amazing. That's probably one lifetime thing that you do. And hey, the last thing that you want to do is you regretting of not doing something, right? If you ever ask and oh,
It just sounds like they don't have time to grow. They don't have time to level up or, raise their standards, right? So it's missing out the opportunity that's given to them in terms of growth to be someone better to increase your revenue.
that's right. But then again, you gotta ask as well, right? To them, uh, is that growth or is that a complete waste of time, right?
Right.
You need to identify that. If I were to stay in my business and do something, right, that's growth too, right?
Mm,
But compared to an event that you get to meet and network and raise money and opportunity to meet future investors or finding new relations, and you're probably not going to have that opportunity for a long, long time in the future. You choose, right? Which one you prefer to do. Are you making a big impact at doing what you do right now? Or is there a bigger impact for going to an event like that? It's up to you, right? So many of people that we found out after the event, they did not go. But
mm,
did they regret it? Chances are they do, right? After knowing what actually happened during the event, because they knew about it. For those that don't, hey, there are other opportunity elsewhere. Are you taking the chances that is being given to you? Can you recognize opportunity?
mm.
Right? That is a question you gotta ask yourself. No one can decide for you.
Mm. It's like missing the boat to success, right? It's like an opportunity is there. You got the chance to meeting people you wouldn't have that chance
Yeah,
to
exactly.
meet. You got to meet people. We got to meet people that are from different countries, where if you're out in the field, you have no way of actually getting through that gate and having that introduction made to that person, right? So it's attending something with a chance of you don't know what's going to happen until you try it out to see what the quality of people in that event is, but also doing that research to see if that's a quality event to attend too.
That's right. To get to the event, you have put in a lot of effort to get there. We have done so, right? We have built relations to be able to get into that circle and
Mm,
be able to attend things like that. So for most Australians, we who knew there's an event in the Sydney Opera House. Right?
mm,
Who knew that we're gonna meet the owner of the Haymarket, right? Who knew we're
yes.
gonna meet the founder of Hungry Jack's or Burger King in Australia, right? That is a big thing that we have, you know, um, done in our life sequence of events until we get to this opportunity. And
But
whether to
you're
take the
right though.
opportunity, yeah,
Yeah, but you're right. Like
yes,
we didn't just like see them speak. We got to meet them, right? We got to talk to
yeah,
them.
mm-hmm.
Some of us got to talk to them. I got to talk to Paul Signorelli as well. And I have an interview with him. It's opportunity like that that you never know that you get. We
Yep.
could have probably paid even more money to be able to have to meet them. That's a circle that an opportunity that you don't know till you've taken it or you tried it out.
Yeah, very, 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 very true. Sometimes money don't give you access. It's not enough, right? You need to build that relations because people with money don't need, well, they want to have more money, right? But they don't need, your
Mm,
money to meet you, right? They want to see what values, what sort of character you are, what sort of people that you can, you share, right? Or you can network with as well. Everybody wants to network up. Then nobody
Mm,
wants to network down, right? So unless you can give value, then they probably give you opportunity.
absolutely, absolutely. Okay,
Mhm.
so I came from originally come from a small town, and to have grown up in or to have transitioned to Sydney, a city, and then to transition into the US. So for you, how you end up being in what's the place again you're at?
Geelong is in Victoria,
Geelong.
Australia. Geelong.
And Geelong is away from the city, right? For your business to be there. W was
No,
that
Geelong is
it's like 2 hours away.
no, it's about an hour away from Melbourne.
Uh-huh.
A
Okay.
lot of people live in Geelong as well, traveling to Melbourne to work.
Mm,
You could say uh, it used to be a regional town, right? But there's so much money being put into Geelong right now, especially
mm.
after the pandemic, because we had the worst lockdown. Victoria has the worst
Oh
lockdown
yes,
during the
Victoria,
pandemic,
yes.
and people want to escape from the CBD, right? And
Right.
the inner metro area, and many people have migrated to Geelong, and now we have the ferry ride that goes to Melbourne every day. We have the train that connects to Melbourne all the time. We have the airport there as well that Air Asia used to come, but the pandemic stopped it. So probably looking for another airline to replace that. That huge development, hotels, everything, all the big names, they're all building in Geelong as well. Because past Geelong, you get the Great Ocean Road, you get all the
Right.
one of the bigger towns out there, and you go from Geelong to Adelaide as well. So
So
there's a lot of things.
I'm assuming you didn't grow up in Geelong, right? It
No,
was
I
just an
don't. You know,
so it was just an opportunity that a business was there
yeah.
for you to acquire. So if you look at the whole picture for yourself, like what got you or made you that decision of acquiring that business that's away from the city area for like let's say someone like me that's from the city to suddenly acquire an hour away from the city. Like what was that thought process at that particular time?
Right? You do whatever it takes, right? So this is opportunity that we calculated, right? We like the system. It's not a system that we normally see in Australia,
Mm,
right? That the laundry system based on uh, contractors able to produce tonnage or rather than paid per hour,
mm,
and that gives a lot of accountability in what we do. And we say like, hey, this is one of a kind. To be able to get into this deal, we have to try, right? They're not going to sell us any other thing. There's only one opportunity in Geelong, right? Actually, in Ocean Grove, which is further away from Geelong, about half an hour away, at the very tip of the peninsula. So if you look at the map, you see at the other side. Um, so we came in, we thinking that hey, it's not this opportunity may end, right?
mm,
It's just 2 years, right? But eventually we found that we decided to join 9 months and I decided to stay over here. It's not too bad as what people think, right? Regional place, it really depends on how connected you are to the place that you need to do business.
mm.
Ultimately, we all connected to, for example, a Zoom, right? So you get or Teams or something like that. I talk to people all over the world from where
Right.
I am, right? So that it
So
doesn't really matter.
distance, yeah, distance, I like that. Distance doesn't matter and time will make it work, isn't it? Like with there is if people say they don't have time, it's an excuse. If people say it's too far, I think that's also an excuse. It's more of if you see that there is a potential there, is taking the opportunity of doing it or acquiring it or making something out of it.
Yeah, you don't want to give yourself too many excuses. You tend to want to say yes in a very early life, a point in your life that because yes, saying yes to open up doors.
Mm,
Saying no is means that if you have too much opportunity later on in life that you can pick and choose, then you be more precious about your time and your focus. So young people, I think your crowd will probably belong to that portion. Say yes, right? Saying yes uh, to many things gives you opportunity to actually to actually succeed as well as learn from failures. right? So say
Mm,
yes, and then look at that, choose your worst case, best case, most likely, and then you decide, right? Don't take too long because opportunity, if you don't take the opportunity, someone else will.
absolutely. Yeah. Cool. And with you acquiring your mentor first and then the coaches that you have, did you take that while you still had your 9 to 5 job, or did you take that after you left your 9 to 5 job?
I've always been a very avid reader and listener of uh, self-help books and things like that. So the earlier author that actually makes a lot of impact on me is Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor
Mm,
Dad. So I attend as much of the podcast and referrals from his uh, teachings from his books, and then I find other entrepreneurs, who are masters in their own field. Uh, I I believe that along the way, I always have you know I want to have greatness, right? There's
so
no point.
it's your curiosity of always leveling up and raising your standards consistently.
Curiosity is important. Yes, 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 right. I wouldn't say that's all to it. You can't be too curious. Well, you can be curious, right? I wouldn't say you can't be too curious, but you can't be looking for the shiny things all the time,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
Yeah. So you're curious, you say, hey, there's something shiny, let's go for that. Something else shiny, go for the other one. You got to balance that between your curiosity and you get it done, right? You
Mm,
start something, like we have the Asian Chinese saying that you start something, you go to finish it, right? That's you must have a head, you must have a tail. You
mm,
can't start something and not finish it, right? And that's doesn't matter how successful we are. That's the teaching that we're being taught from young. So I believe that's a lot of wisdom in what the our culture has taught us. Uh, so yeah, so along the way, yes, I do have maybe not in person, but I do
mm.
have something to refer to.
But
And if I
your
fail,
growth didn't just start with books though. Your growth started with books and then it transitioned to books, mentors, and then coaches along the
yes,
way.
yes, that's right.
But
As you
but
are,
there was no like cutoff in terms of okay, I'm just gonna do books until now that I've sent in my resignation. Now I'm gonna do coaches because I sent in my resignation. It was a continuous growth of whatever you could get your hands on.
yeah, you're right, you're right. So you transition in life, right? As you because when you're in school or in uni, you don't have a lot of money, right? So you buy the cheapest resource that you can have, right? Either
Mm.
you buy a book or you go and download something or you get something from private things, as we all did in our youth. Um,
Yeah.
but as you get more, you earn your salary, you can afford
Mm.
things, right? You can afford to attend events, you can afford to get coaches, you can afford to pay for people to have events and seminar and things like that. And after that, you get more successful. You can afford bigger names, bigger coaches, right? And I do pay like $3,000 just for 4 sessions of coaching USD, right? So how many people can afford that? So later on in life, who knows, right? Maybe in the future we'll be coaching with AI. That's probably the next best thing, right? But yeah, you don't. It's a continuous learning. Always be learning. You never be too old for learning. Because once you stop learning, that's the end of you. You have no aspiration to get better. That's
Mm.
where life ends.
Absolutely. So last one. What would be the ultimate advice for business owners out there that are stuck?
You gotta get unstuck, right? You gotta do whatever it takes to get unstuck. So think, right? Think, be curious, be creative, get out there, right? If you cry over spilled milk, the milk's not coming back, right? So you got to do whatever it takes to get out from the situation you are. And you can't sit there and manifest and the idea comes to you. It doesn't happen that way. You need to get out there. Talk to people. Look at podcasts like what Lorraine's doing, right? You get nuggets of wisdom that you want to you can put into your business and try it, right? Last week when we went for top one with JT Fox top one, that actually you learn from other people's mistake, right? You get unstuck that way. And if you are able to provide some help to people, that's the best privilege that you can have as people, as we are all connected, right? Giving back is as important as taking things from them.
Mm.
So always do something. Don't don't get stuck, right? You can get yourself unstuck. So when you say you get stuck, means that probably you're not doing enough to unstuck yourself.
It's like being in a dead end. It's like, what do you do? Do you just stay there or you find a way out of being in that, dead end? Is there a
Yeah,
way,
right.
maybe a side track, from a different journey from what you
Absolutely.
expect? Because things happen at any time, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
All right, Eng Ho, thank you so much for spending some time with me and sharing your experience and your advice to all those listeners out there and business owners out there. If you all enjoyed this episode, please do like, share it with those that you think would benefit from this. But also follow me and subscribe to Solo to Entrepreneur Show. But if you're also curious in terms of what Eng Ho does, I'm going to put on the description on the links to his social media page. And if you could follow him and just, see what he does for behind the scenes or upfront in terms of his business and the people that he surrounds himself with, by all means, click on the description. I will put those links down below. But other than that, thank you, Angel, for being with us today on this episode.
Thanks, Lorraine. Thanks, everyone. Look forward to the invites and shares and things like that. All right.
Absolutely. And
Awesome. Have a good
I
day.
should see you all on the next episode.
Right. See ya.